Sutton from the angle. Oh, yeah!
What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Lockout podcast. I'm your host, Josh, coach and captain of the Young Gorham. I'm here with Hawko.
That's right, I'm Hawko, manager of the Dark Brotherhood, and once again, we're a man down, but not really, probably a man.
Half a man
down.
Yeah.
So it goes all the way over to my far right, but not all the way. Croxy.
Croxy here, leader of Juckfosh FC, the greatest team name on the podcast. And in the break, I did notice that this piece of shit has been in front of my laptop for the entire review. So in the bin over there. And
Good shot.
You have to put it in the bin. Yeah.
Oh, perfect. And
order has been restored.
Another piece of shit has come in its place.
The goods is in front now because we're a game behind. We've got these witches' hats to play, so
I can't wait for us to actually find some form. And
Merritt will go back in the middle. And
keep talking, pal. Keep talking.
Yeah.
But we're here for a preview, round 16 preview. Now, I think we can all agree, we would have said at the start, round 12, I think we said it a few times actually, was probably the hardest round. When it came to the buys.
12 and 16.
Well, for Hawko it was.
As it turns
for me
out,
it was, yeah.
The 16 is fucked.
Yeah.
Pardon my French, but I think
I've always been looking forward to 16 being over and 17 coming along.
Yeah.
But
I think we all are. But round 16 does mean that a lot of our primos or our top plays are on buy. In fact, I think I saw Warney tweet that 9 out of the top 20 scorers this year are on buy this week.
So what you're saying is probably like a 1900 is going to be the greatest score ever this week.
It could be. It very well could be. But we're going to go through everything preview. So we'll talk about trades. We'll talk about how we went. We'll talk about some of the injuries that are out there in the MRO. But let's jump into our scores, how we went. And I believe, even though he is not here, we do have his information. So Ryan was the lowest scorer from last week.
Ryan does like to do this a bit and dip out when he does low score and when Richmond lose, which inevitably is every week.
When it's both,
but when it's both, he's definitely not around. So this week he scored 1658, and so that has put him down to 28,617 in rank. I don't know what his cash gem was because I can't be bothered.
He got nearly up to 19,000 on one stage. Yeah.
He is on 22,683,000 plus 236K. So he's still
23. Let's just give him 23.
He's still. Oh yeah, he does actually have 23. So that's all right. Yeah, he's slightly behind me, I think. In any case, Josh is just doing the math here. I'm just going to move on to my scoring. 23. And I scored the second most for the week. Yeah. We'll get over that.
So what was that? Second worst for the week. So at least you went the worst.
Yeah. So I've had a shocking last 3 weeks on the buy. I managed to get up to 17,000 in rank, and I'm now down at 25,222. And I'm just
the twos again.
The twos.
Fuck,
I'm just
we've
like,
got to get you out of there.
Yeah, and I'm just like, fuck this. It's been a slog these last 3 weeks. The amount of money I made this week was 63K.
What about Ryan? Did you say Ryan or Ryan didn't send it through?
We don't know.
We don't know. So less probably.
Mr. Cash.
I think Mr. Cashkin got less. I would assume.
Interest rates went down.
They did.
Jesus.
But yeah, so that was a measly 63K rise and a 1,168 rank loss for me. So that did suck. And then moving on to the next one, which I believe is Hawk.
Yeah, me only scored a 1754. So also went down in rank. Unfortunately, lost I think 600 ranks. So I'm at 23,436. And only made 95K. So, between the three of us, not a great week there. And I think Josh, you probably made more than us just by yourselves combined. But yeah, not a great week for me. But buy season's nearly over, thank fucking Christ. But what about you?
The worst one yet to come.
Back to the rightful spot. Still here.
You changed up for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I tried to emphasise. I thought mediocrity wasn't really for me.
You were the Zach Merritt of the podcast, I think.
I was. And then I went back in the midfield. Yeah. So I scored 1831. Not the absolute best score like I had last week. I think I was ranked 1256 weekly round. But 1831, it meant that I pushed out, I actually slid a few ranks. So I went out from 8996 to 9184.
Oh, so 200. That's not bad.
Yeah, about 70 ranks, something like that. Cash gem wise, I did go up. I made some cash, so 206K. Thank you very much. And I've taken my team value up to 24.5 million. So
Jesus Christ.
Probably still $1 million behind the top cash gen creator, but Yeah,
Yeah,
not ideal.
$1.5 million
Yeah.
above us. So.
Exactly.
You're $1.5 million over me. I'm just over 23.
So that is how we went, how we scored. Hopefully you had a good week as well, and maybe let us know your score down
Well, it
below.
depends if they had good teams, because I noticed it was more, a lot of the primos didn't score great last week.
Yeah, well,
Compared to the week before.
Yeah. I mean, some of them. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
so, yeah.
But that's how we went. What we do want to do now is jump into one of our favourite segments, which is handing out our Brownlow votes. Now, I don't think Ryan has sent through, so maybe see if you can get them from him. But let's lead off with our Brownlow votes. And do you mind if I lead the way?
You go on then.
He's been a great pickup for me. I got him at 919k, and Caleb Sarong, you have been absolute lifesaver with his massive
Back-to-back
what was
three
it,
in a row.
139. 3 votes for me is absolutely well deserved, and I know that a lot of coaches out there got you. Are really appreciative of what you've done for us. So yeah, Caleb Sarong for me.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, well done.
Well, I'll go next while Croxy's still trying to get Ryan on the blower. 3 votes for me, Sam Doherty.
Yeah, nice.
131. So he was a good pickup the last 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago when I got him, and he's done well since then. So it's worked out pretty well for me.
I'll follow you in for 2 votes.
Oh, you want to
one.
cover that for 2?
The Doc was getting it done, and well earned points from him.
Croxy?
Yeah, so for me, Nasai Wanganeen Miller, 125, doing the business again in the midfield there for St Kilda. He's got my 3 votes this week.
And he'll take my 1.
And he'll take your 1.
Yeah, nice. Love to see it. 125, was it?
Yeah, 125.
Incredibly well.
Well, 2 votes for me went to Harry Sheasel.
Very nice.
Croxy, 2 votes.
Yeah, my 2 votes was to Grundy, debuting and debuting as captain as well, a 121, saving me from Bailey Smith's 94 there.
Didn't want to give him you got the captain. Didn't want to give yourself 3 votes. Give him 3 votes for helping you out.
Mr.
I
Nas.
think Nas is just too good for him now.
enough.
I think, especially with on the form.
And then as per usual, I'm sure all the people already know, Sam Davidson 1 vote, rookie with over 90 points. So he
He's
gets 1
actually
vote.
earned it this time.
108. Yep, Sam Davidson for me as well.
Davidson for you as well.
Yeah.
He didn't fit into my voting, but I do want to give a special shout out to, and forecasting here, but Will Ashcroft, thank you for your time in the Youngly Gould. Your 108 was greatly appreciated, and enjoy your vacation.
Your unique player's finally out the door.
He is. But that is our Brownlow votes. We don't have Ryan's, as we said, but what we might do is upload them. So stay tuned over on X. And
I'm going to guess
Instagram.
Ryan's right now, just to guess.
You got his team, do you?
Yeah, so I'm guessing Bailey Smith for 3 because he scored 188, a massive score. Oh, wait, that was his captain. Oh, shit. No, I'm just kidding. But I reckon, guessing he's gone Doherty, Nasaya, and... Oh, the next one's hard.
Lucky Ash.
Maybe Ash, but Brayshaw's also... I reckon it's that. I reckon it's Brayshaw, yeah.
Okay.
Ash or Brayshaw debuting. I reckon Brayshaw.
Let's go, Brayshaw.
Yeah.
All right, let's head into a little bit more of a real talk segment, flop of the week. Now, every week someone has to get it. We've got to give it out. It's it's not a responsibility that we enjoy. Well, some of us don't.
Oh, I do.
You love it. I know you love it.
Hey, isn't this your favourite segment?
Yes, it is. Yeah. So when I say some of us, I'm not speaking about myself. But the flop of the week. Now, Zach, we've had this chat before. And
oh, God.
off air, Croxy did,
Man to man.
Croxy did point out that maybe this is wrongly deserved. Maybe it should be for Brad or Matt Rosa. But ultimately, you're the captain of the club. We are fumbling our way through a season that is filled with mediocrity, disappointment, and nothing was more disappointing than you scoring 57. I've seen some things. I watched Luke Jackson drop 144 points on us. You know what I didn't see? Our captain stand up.
Maybe he respects Scott so much that he just obeys him to the letter.
Well, stop being a little beta and start being an alpha, okay?
Start being a captain.
Yeah, start being a captain. 57 is just not on. I don't care if you're playing off the halfback. I don't care if you're playing in the middle. I don't care if you're playing off the wing. Just give a little something. Give a little heart. Angus Clark, he scored 93. He was off the wing. What were you doing? I don't remember seeing you do that.
He scored 66, by the way.
No, in his debut when he was on the wing.
Sorry, yeah.
Angus Clark is now playing down back, so it would make sense if he scored 66.
But he also outscored Merritt.
He did, yes. He wasn't getting tagged, so I will give you that, Zach. But let's just buckle. Hey, have a week off. Go for a drive in New Eurus. Maybe go kick the footy somewhere. Hang out with your mates. Whatever you want to do.
Don't kick the footy. Like have a week off.
Just a bit of fun. Take the pressure off. It doesn't matter. You're a good kick. You know, but just next week, not this week. Next week, let's tie those boots up a little bit tighter. Let's bring a better attitude and let's actually give some effort.
Who are you versing?
There we go. I think it's the Gold Coast Suns.
It is, yeah.
So
and then
46 points incoming this week, and then 120.
2 weeks.
After.
After.
By week this week.
Just letting you know that's 10 weeks in a row he's lost money, by the way.
So
I'm glad that he's on Sort Your Shit Out.
Sort Your Shit Out.
Well, I'm not going to do it. You just did it for me. So that was Sort Your Shit Out, guys. That was an even flop of the week. Josh took it over this week because I only had Zach Merritt on the Sort Your Shit Out list. Still owned by 18% of players somehow.
I'm surprised Jerry's not in there as well.
10 weeks in a row. No, because it was only 2 weeks. Remember 3 weeks?
Yeah,
maybe 3
but
weeks.
I don't know. I think Jerry needs a rev up.
Yeah, I'm thinking someone deserved a little bit of a...
I'll give him one more week. Yeah. But yeah, look,
you're too kind.
thanks for that, Josh. Croxy, you want to give your flop of the week?
Yeah, I'm going to give my suspected Ryan's flop of the week, and I think it's going to be Merritt as well. So I'll just leave it at that.
Well, I think I've said enough for
you.
You
have, exactly.
Yeah,
so
we didn't. We tried
that's
to
what I mean.
talk at all.
Anyways.
Hopefully that wasn't too much for you, Zach. Like, well, I feel like we have this kind of
Can you
connection.
imagine if I said it?
Yeah, well, you're a Hawthorn fan, so you probably wouldn't take it on board.
Yeah, well, that's fair. But he would have copped more shit.
He would have drawn a line in the sand. He would have come and kick your teeth in.
Why? He's so far off the ball, he wouldn't have been able to get to me.
You're so far away from the ball as well. Give us your flop of the week, Nick.
Yeah.
Who is your flop of the week?
Yeah, so my flop of the week is actually Jack Sinclair because the bloke has done a 64. What the fuck is going on there, Jack? Yeah, I'm just blown away because you mentioned Jack Steele getting a 66 and he's even done worse than him.
Yeah.
Yes, mate. What is going on? Come on, mate. You've gotten, 19 disposals? Not that great.
Nas has been greedy,
3.
mate.
Yeah.
Tackles 2. Nas has doubled your score just about. 3 points off doubling your score.
Jesus.
Come on.
It's not it, is it?
You can't expect to be $1 million player and be scoring 64s here.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal. So for everyone's sake, pick it up.
Well, like I said, Josh did sort your shit out. Croxy's basically taken my flop of the week. So I don't need to talk this week. Maybe it'll be a nice change of pace for me not scaring Josh every 5 seconds when I get angry.
A bit jumpy.
Feeling a bit calmer this week. So that's it. Jack Sinclair, my flop of the week. And we'll get
move
into
on.
our trade.
Jeez, you are one cool, calm, collected cat these days.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Oh, wait
usually
till
there's
next
a bit of
week.
fire in it. But that is flop of the week.
Yeah, as a very limited flop of the week, isn't it? But
We've talked about how we've gone. We've talked through some of the cash gen we've had, some of our stars, some of our flops, and now we're going to talk about trades.
Yeah.
And we always like to start with most in, most out. So let's have a look at the players that have left squads this week.
Yep.
Roxy, you got players
I'll
out?
do that, yep. So we've got Angus Clark on the way out after that 66, which is, I think it's a little bit
rough.
Yeah, and he's on the buy, so I get it.
People we want to sort our teams out, finish our teams off, make what?
Completing teams.
250K if you go down to
to a basement rookie, 460.
So 200K. Yeah. So
So,
that's fair.
I'm keeping him because I think he's still got a little bit more left in the tank to make cash-wise.
Or like a D6/D7 kind of.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep.
D7, yeah. But yeah, Zach Merritt is the next one on the list, mate.
Oh, there it is. They've had enough.
The people have
blame
spoken.
you.
The
Don't
people have
blame
spoken. So Josh is very lucky in the fact that Zach Merritt hasn't got 3 in a row because you had, who was it last week? Petrarca. So that means that Zach Merritt can stay in Josh's team. But majority of coaches look like they're getting him out the door. The next one down, Lockie Whitfield, and this is a bit of a devastating one because he is on the bye, but then the HIA, 12 days exactly for his...
Be interesting.
So he's like on the cusp. I think he can technically play if he seems to be recovered. He's passed by the doctors, right?
He's had issues with concussion previously, though.
And
he might not.
He's had, headaches and things like that and migraines. So Honestly, I'm one of those people that have gotten me out the door this week, and I think personally, I would say everyone
there's
should
options
probably
as well.
be doing
you can
that.
drop down now. It's not like terrible.
Yeah, because it is that tough bye week that we've just been talking about, like round 16, we're losing a lot of high value primos.
Yeah.
He's one that you can say potentially he's going to miss those 2 weeks. So get him out, get someone in that's going to score this week and next.
This could also be just one of those situations where it's like, hey, I didn't really want to trade him. I was a bit worried about what I'm going to do this week. So it could you can hide behind this of like, okay, cool, there could be an issue here, so I'm going to make the trade anyway.
Yeah. And then next one on the list is Zach Johnson. So he put up that 35
so the
last
Bomber
week.
Boys.
And I mean, I get this one as well, again, on the buy. So, yeah, I'm not really going to talk too much about it.
If you need the money,
it's 441K. So,
another 200K upgrade if you need to.
Exactly. And the next one, this is should have been out weeks ago. Levi Ashcroft at number 5 there. 689K. He's lost a bunch of money. He is on the buy. Get him out. That's
I'm going to have a look 100%.
Really Sorry,
So let's have a look and see how much money he has actually lost over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So if we go fixtures, right?
You're not going to find it there. Hang on, I'll get it for you if you want.
But that's all right. While the boys look at that, I'll keep going. So we'll go back to week 14's 5 most brought in and see how they did. So obviously McCarthy was the most brought in last week, even though it was on his bye. So 0-0s across the board, big goose eggs. Zach Johnson was second most brought in last week and now automatically into the most brought out, which is crazy. But made 60K in that 1 week, so maybe that was enough for some people. This is a big one for people. Yeah, I knew it was about that. Horn Francis was third most brought in last week. Projected at an 84, made 60, did the 67 and lost 30K, which is unfortunate for all those owners out there. Harry Rowson, though, a few people did bring this guy in. We're kind of big fans here of what he's been doing, especially in the fantasy realm. Had the -3 break even, scored an 83 and made 71K, but unfortunately he's on his bye this week, and maybe it might be too late, might be a bit too high if you try and bring him in next week. But I mean, if you manage to bring him in before that, well done. And then this guy, Sam Darcy, fucking the freak.
Yeah. I almost thought about getting him back in on his first week, hey? And
it's tough dice to roll.
Yeah.
Break even was a 101 and got the 114, which is huge for his first game back. So well done to him, made 14K. Now we move into this week, week 15, and the boys have called it.
Yeah.
Tom McCarthy is the most brought in player again this week. I think that's 3 weeks in a row.
Sense. Yeah.
Let me double check. 3 weeks in a row he's been in the top 5 most brought in. Yeah. So -25 break even, still projected at a 69, so he's going to make bank there. Especially with, as Croxy's pointed out, this is a tough week for a lot of fantasy owners. We thought 12 was the bad one, but 16's looking just as bad. And you needed money, and anyone you can get scoring, you'll take whatever you can get from him, especially if it's another 100 on like he did on his debut. Manny Liddy, 296K, -10 break even, projected to 52. It's another great midfielder
He's still under 300K,
Yep. Callum Mills, obviously with the injury to Whitfield, as we've mentioned, 791K ever since he's come back in, 2 weeks ago? 3 weeks ago. 791K break even of 63, projected at 85, and he should easily, once again, make money and is a good downgrade for Whitfield or anyone else that you need to, or an upgrade, like say like I did a few weeks ago, Hardiman. Or somebody like that. So
I do like this next one here.
Tyrell Dwyer.
Yeah.
Yep. Look, him and Butler were kind of around the same price, 400 odd K. Both had the minus break evens. Obviously, Butler's now back as well, same as Dwyer. I think they're both around low break evens. I want to say like a 8 to a -14. Both should make money this week, but Dwyer is probably, if that option that who had it, Marich at the start, or Hutchinson, sorry?
Marich was the one that got the good roll.
Yeah, so now Dwyer's got that, and he looked extraordinary on the week before with 115, I think he scored. So, and then fifth, again, done it 2 weeks in a row, Sam Darcy. So somehow smacked his break-even in that first week, and people were a little scared on it. But now, mate, his break-even's basically down to a 80, which he should get that regardless.
Yeah.
Projected at a 62. Look, he's going to smack that. I know he's got a tougher matchup this week, but he's still going to be fine. And that's going to be the top 5 most brought-in players this week.
Incredible. We did get the numbers on how much cash Levi Ashcroft dropped. 106K.
Yeah.
So if you held him all the way to his bye, you would be down 106,000.
Yeah.
Oh, you did?
You did?
Oh,
yeah,
geez.
I did not. Yeah.
So that is, I guess, most trade in, most trade out. So hopefully some of those players are featuring there for you. And if not, you've got some ideas now. But let's have a look at some of our trades and see how we have attacked this week. Now, we're all in different positions. I think, Hawko, you're 1 week away from finishing your team.
Yeah.
Nick, you still
2
have
weeks.
2 weeks away. I've finished my team. I'm now looking to just adjust people. So there should be something for everyone in here. So why don't we talk through our trades?
You wanna go first, then?
I'll kick off. So because my team is in a position where I've got all the rookies off the field. Now, I want to preface this conversation with one thing. A lot of the commentary on some of the podcasts and online is around 22, how many people do you have playing and how many primos? Now, primos are typically your top 1 to 5 in each line.
Yeah.
We're not all going to have that. But what you want to figure out is
it's
how
impossible.
many people you have playing and how many people are non-rookies. So let's think anybody that is mid-price and better, okay? In my team, I'm looking to make 3 trades here because obviously 3 trades. First person leaving my squad is Tom Stewart. Now, Tom Stewart, I've enjoyed owning over the last few weeks. I think
Didn't
he's
have him
scored
for very
well.
long, did you?
Yeah, it was about
3 weeks? Yeah.
But I know he is someone that is now on bye that can go, and a playing player can come in and give me more coverage.
And give you some more cash there as well.
More
by the looks
cash.
of it.
But also, he's someone that typically has, some of those off games or gets injured or has had...
Definitely has the
had
injury
issues.
risk. Age risk as well.
Yeah.
It heightens that injury risk too.
Correct.
So
I also think that Connor Sullivan has taken some of the features away from focus away from him. So Tom Stewart is out the door for me. I'm going to bring in Colby McKercher. So I've missed the run so far of averaging 95, but I'm excited by the role, so I'm going to bring him in. I'm going to send Will Ashcroft out the door, as I alluded to earlier. He's on bye, and it was always my plan to get him out on this bye. So he's making way for Jack McRae. So Jack McRae is going to come into my team and then look to make it into my forward line through some DPP. But Jack McRae coming into my squad there. Then the final trade that I'm making is a bit of an upgrade. So I'm sending Hugh Boxall, who's been sitting in my utility spot, out the door. And I'm going to bring in Callum Mills. What this is allowing me to do is have actually a 23rd primo or a 23rd good player, I guess, that I can sit there and now loop in my team. I've got a player in the forward line, I've got a player in the midfield, and a player in defense. So looking to bolster and really attack this next part of the season. But that's where my team's at. Tell us about yourselves. Maybe, Hawko, you said you've got 1 week to go with your...
Where I want to
completing your
be,
team.
but like it might be 2 depending on if I want to change something up, especially with what could happen and whatnot. But at the
So what
moment,
does it look like for yourself?
So trades wise, though, this is what we're going to do. I'm going to trade out Levi Ashcroft. Unfortunately, that 100k, as you pointed out, kind of hurts. What was he? 795k. Oh, so bringing in Daniel Curtin. Into that forward role, he'll go into the F6. Thank God Ryan is not here because I would have copped it big time. I'm surprised these boys aren't saying anything.
As soon as I saw Daniel Curtin this week, I was like, oh, he's done it. He's done it.
Yeah. So
I really hope he continues the form.
mate, he's looking good though. Finally showing the promise. I don't know if you guys have caught Adelaide's game, but looking like before he got drafted, realistically, this is the player that I saw him being. So not bad there. Kind of he'll do the
It's taken
F6.
a while to warm up, but he's done it.
Finally getting Archie Roberts out, who's been one of my unique pickups this year, and he's had a tremendous year for you guys, doing well with the disposals. But I'm trading him out for Dylan Moore. Nice. So I'm not going... was thinking about Sam Darcy there, but I'm going to go Dylan Moore instead, especially since they've started to give him more midfield roles at the moment, and that over the last couple of weeks, especially when we had the tough games against Adelaide and the Bulldogs... He was, which were going to be tough games for us. He got into the midfield, helped us win games, and was getting the ball. So if we keep doing that because we want to win, hopefully he stays in there and we get some few points that way. And then last one's kind of just a Camporelli out, kind of a straight swap, looking like I'm going to go Manny Liddy and just to get another midfielder in there that's playing consistently, looking like he'll make some money there and be a later kind of a loop option maybe if he keeps doing those 70s to 80s for the rest of the year, and that's it.
Very nice. So that's where our trades are at. Do we have Ryan's?
I've got Ryan's, yeah. So Ryan, I think this also alludes to the fact that the flop of the week was Zach Merritt for him because he's gone Zach Merritt out and Tom McCarthy in.
How much is Zach Merritt? Over $1 million still?
It's 926.
Oh, shit.
And so, he's making a bunch of cash there on the McCarthy in for Merritt trade. And then he's gone because he had Nick Madden.
He was his ruck 2 for like 2 weeks.
R2, yeah. It was his R2. So he's got Nick Madden out for Luke Jackson, so he's spending up there.
Which is good. He's had a lot of money sitting there for a while. So
he has had a lot of money sitting there for a while. And he's also using that money from Merritt to McCarthy as well. And then the last trade for him is Cooper Simpson out and Matty Liddy in.
Nice.
So he's
he's
following
Liddy
suit
as well.
there with
So
you.
he's getting a bit of cash gen in there.
Yeah. For me, though, my trades this week, I'm going Riley Bice out and Tom McCarthy in. Now, I wish I knew that Bice was going to be the sub.
Yeah.
I would have.
How much money did he lose with that?
He lost 45K, so it really hurts. Yeah.
Jeez.
I had bloody Hardiman, who, if I'd known Riley Bice was going to be a sub, I would have gotten Riley Bice out and Hardiman kept him, but fuck, whatever. 45K, that's a bit of a shit show. And then the next one, I've got Lockie Whitfield out and Callum Mills in. Now, that
Whitfield.
is...
Yeah.
I've already explained my reasoning behind that in the most traded out. But yeah, Whitfield potentially may miss 2 weeks. He's definitely obviously got the buy. And Callum Mills, cheaper option there. He's put a couple of scores together in fantasy and he did pretty well in the VFL on the way back in.
Yep.
So I'm pretty happy with his current form.
Slightly missed the boat, but you'll still get some money there.
I mean, he's only going to go up from here, I think.
Yep.
Do you have his break even there at all?
Who is it?
Mills.
Yeah, I had it before, didn't I?
Break even of
63. Yeah, he's gonna get that realistically.
Yep.
And then I've gone Xavier Lindsay out and Sam Doherty in. So I'm trying to complete the team a little better here by getting 2 kind of primos in that are going to stay in for the rest of the season.
So
there.
the Whitfield out kind of helped you a little bit, realistically.
It did. I still would have just been able to afford it, I think, if I'd done some other things. But it's a bit of a
I think you're getting
about
the right people out.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go over, we've done this the last few weeks, especially on the buys. So the last buy round was Adelaide. So Adelaide, Hawthorn, Melbourne and the Eagles.
Yeah.
Buys, right? So let's go over, let's have the Eagles. So McCarthy's obviously an in. Definitely you look at somebody to bring in. Anyone else from the Eagles you can think about? Dewar?
Dewar, yeah.
I think Tyrell Dewar has been someone that has kind of got that role that Marek had. So if the scoring, hopefully he doesn't take a piss take, like sidestepping out of the square just to get a disposal. But he's someone that's priced at 500-ish K. So could sit at your sit at your F6 kind of position if you need it
to upgrade somebody else.
Yep. McCarthy is definitely someone that you could look at having as a consistent on-field scorer.
Yep.
Look, we got one week of data here. He scored well, but we'll see what happens.
All right, so let's go Melbourne next.
Yeah, Melbourne. Look,
Gawn. If you dropped Gawn,
Gawn was a big trade out, but he does have. Nick, do you want to get up the DFS, the strength of schedule? Yeah, and just see what that looks like because he does have a really tough run.
Yeah, it's a tough run. That's why a lot of people got him out.
Which is where I'd probably advise not bringing him in.
Yeah.
I think he's had a really good run, and look, he could pop some big scores on you.
And this is the reason I got him out for, Grundy in last week is because of the run. And so if you look here, you've got Gold Coast, Adelaide, North, Carlton.
Yes. 4 really tough ones into 2 easy ones.
So what's that?
St Kilda and West Coast.
Riley O'Brien into Jerry.
Wits
into
first.
Wits.
Into Riley O'Brien, then into Jerry, and then Carlton.
TDK's actually
TDK's hard person scoring, so that's 4 really tough weeks. Yeah, okay. So let's say Gawn, no, not even maybe.
So I think Gawn.
I would rule that out until round 20 at least, like a Gawn trade.
Well, that was a big thing. Petrarca. What do you think about Petrarca? I held Petrarca, but I know Ryan.
I held Petrarca.
You held Petrarca as well. So would you look at maybe bringing him now? Because didn't he lose some money right before? He lost nearly 100,000, right? I think he's down to 900K nearly, and nearly under in the 800s.
Let's have he's 906.
So. Gold Coast are not too bad for inside mids and forwards.
Yep.
General forwards. So
So just like
And
I
then-
said, an easy. If you
Yeah.
want to bring in Petrarca, yes, no, maybe.
I would say yes. Yeah.
I'd say yes.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Anyone else? Clayton Oliver's probably
Clayton
a
Oliver,
no.
no.
Anyone else from Melbourne?
probably-
Pickett's a no still because he had that
No.
quick run. But
Langford should be out of your team. Lindsay should be out of your team.
Yep.
I don't think. But what we can probably expect to see from Melbourne is if they start to really fall off the cliff, lots of blooding of new kids.
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they
So-
have already with Langford and Lindsay this year.
Yeah,
so
that's
been
two
good.
compared
That's
to
two.
They haven't
Yeah.
announced any
but you've also-
debutants this week.
No, not yet. It's still too early for them. We've got some debutants, but we'll get to that soon. All right, so let's go again. Let's go Adelaide. Also, we're off the bye this week. Isaac Rankin is an interesting name. I know a few people dropped him, a few people kept him. Is he yes, no, maybe
I'm probably
to
a
bring
no.
in?
I don't
I'm a no
think
on
he's a
Rankin.
Too
target.
late. If you
Yeah.
kept him, you've kept him. If not, don't bring him in now.
Yeah, I think with the full line at the moment, you can probably throw. So you'd have Baz Smith as the standout.
Yeah.
You'll have Nick Martin as a standout. You'll have Matt Kennedy. From basically there through to maybe top 8, 9, 10,
Yeah.
you can throw a blanket over all of them. I don't think they're
Okay.
necessarily all a must-have. Same thing with Petrarca. I don't think he's a must-have. But him, Rankin, Warner, I think they're all going to probably score around the same. McRae's probably just ahead of them.
Yep.
Um,
Okay, so no Rankin. What
so,
about Dawson? Too much money?
Dawson, I actually would be a
Yeah,
trade.
100%.
Straight
Yeah,
upgrade?
100%.
Yep.
So I think, and this is where the discussion around where we're at is really interesting. So for me right now, and I apologise to you earlier about Kennedy, I've said for a little while now, like, hey, I don't think I would pay that much to bring him in. But now I'm at a point where I've completed my team. I think about it the same way like Nas, for example. These really high-priced players, if you're making the slight upgrade from undervalued premium to a super premium, like that's where it's worth it. So you could do a Dawson.
Well, like you said, your team's finished now, so that's what you're looking at.
But if you are still someone that has a rookie or a mid-pricer or, someone that's not a primo
yeah.
in your position, go value because you need the cash. We still have 9 rounds to continue to upgrade in.
Yeah.
You need cash.
I want to mention one more player, Rory Laird.
Laird, I am a big fan of. If I wasn't doing what I'm doing this week,
900K.
I would be bringing him in.
He's lost
got
111
Richmond
this year. He's lost 111 for the season. You'd probably say, I would say yes on
He's
Laird.
had his games this year, has had his down bad games, obviously with the position change. He's now on that halfback flank. But he's also had games where if you need to go that slight upgrade as well, Laird is definitely an option. So I just
And so, like,
wanted
if
to
we have a
throw
look
that out
at
there.
wing defender, right, as strength of schedule, Adelaide, he gets Richmond, Melbourne, Bulldogs, Gold Coast. So 4 very easy runs to come off that bye.
Yeah.
And I think he'll be able to attack
And then-
the rest of the season.
Daniel Curtin.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to mention Curtin. It was more, that's just somebody I wanted to bring. I don't think he's probably that
Josh?
brought in.
I'm more
There
looking
you go.
at you.
Yeah, you want to answer if Curtin?
Daniel Curtin, would you bring him in?
for?
Probably not. But I just think for 581K, you probably want to change your plan so you can get someone that's a little bit better.
I'm only doing it for a few weeks because I couldn't do Archimay. Archimay's who I wanted to do, but he's on the bye.
Yeah.
So that'll change. He'll be 2 or 3 weeks as a F6/F7, and then he'll go out the door.
If he's then sitting there for you.
Yeah, that's fine. All right, so let's go to Hawthorn, and let's go. There's Dylan Moore.
Dylan Moore, I'm a big fan of. He, again, I sent, on Sundays, basically, we send out early trades or rage trades through in the chat. So I sent through Dylan Moore was coming into my team. I have decided not to save money just because of the trades that I'm making. I wasn't originally trading as Stewart. I was going to hold him, so I didn't have as much money to get McKercher and Mills. But now that I can get McRae as well, I just decided to go to the further up.
You just went further up, which is fair enough.
He's got a last 3 average of 105 and a last 5 average of 94. So, I'd go Dylan Moore as well.
And he's someone in the back end of last year after bye. I think Selby said he averaged
last
110
season he was smashing
in the
last
back
season.
half of the year. So I think he's going to be someone that's going to get points and score.
Yeah.
It's just that he's going to be the guy that
I
gets
think-
25 and
I
2.
think we were almost around this time last year saying the same thing. Do we get him in? Do we get him in? And we all kind of decided no. And then I ended up getting him real late last season because he was just
Which
fucking
still
killing
worked,
it.
but it just didn't. It worked late.
It would have been nicer to
We
get
just
him in
wanted
earlier.
we want to see it.
Yeah.
So we've seen it last week. He scored.
Which this
the
year
week
I'm not
before,
waiting.
He scored well.
I'm pulling the trigger.
You're
I'm
pulling
just
the
doing
trigger.
it.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But I think that's really better. There's no other Hawthorn players or any other players off the bye. But there's a few players there you can look at. Yes, no, maybes in there. But all right, so let's go into
North.
North. Huh? North weren't on that bye last week.
No, we covered them last.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Yeah. So that's so what have she's
For
throwing me off.
For some reason, I read North as
where are we at now?
Melbourne.
Yeah, so
Melbourne is North Melbourne.
we've. Okay, so that's some of your trade targets that you could potentially go after.
Yeah.
We've covered off some of the.
Well,
the
Ryan
bye
Noy
players.
usually does cash cows, which we can't. We're kind of past the point now.
Yeah, we don't need
realistically.
cash cows.
So
let's go injury report.
Injury report, yeah.
And let's see who's maybe out with injury and what does that mean for some opportunities, and then we can lead into MRO and just the tips.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, well, first off, there's a few mentions of debutants. Actually, Croxy did mention that before. So, first off, Carlton have got 2 debutants this week. I can't think of that. I think Flynn and Young, I believe, are the 2 debutants for the Blues. They're trying to switch things up, obviously, Carlton. The boys will double-check that. But a few others that I've looked at that haven't been named, obviously, because this is Wednesday night. You got Charlie Edwards for the Crows. So, in the Sandful, has been playing the Rory Laird role.
Wilson and Young.
That's it,
are
Wilson
the
and
two
Young.
come in.
So, Billy Wilson and Flynn Young?
Yep.
So, Charlie Edwards, though, Crows. Kind of was meant to be like his supposed role was like that Dan Curtin from last year. Is meant to be like Rory Laird playing off that halfback flank. Has been killing it in the Sandful. 230k defensive mid-roll status. Could be interesting to look at if you need that 230k if he gets a debut. Charlie West from the Magpies has already been confirmed to make his debut this week. He's a ruck forward. Another 230k with a 25 break even. So if you need anything there, Boyd or something like that.
I think he kicked 6 goals in
Yeah,
the VFL.
killed it,
He's
yeah.
19 years old.
The only problem is, though, it's Collingwood versus Eagles.
Yeah.
Like, he's not going to probably maintain that. Well, if he kicks 6 goals against the
Yeah,
Eagles,
if
he
he
might
might
keep that team,
as
yeah. And then the other one, again, I'm pretty sure the boys just mentioned this guy before, has been confirmed for the Eagles. Job Shanahan.
Yeah.
Should be debuting this week as a forward option. 253k with a break even to 27. So that's just a few players that could get the debut this week. And now let's go into the proper injury report. You got SDK. Hopefully now all those players that are still playing and that have not heard me are getting rid of that guy now. He's out for 4 weeks with a knee injury. Kane McAuliffe, who I know is on Ryan's team as that mid-tier midfielder who went to McAuliffe instead of, I want to say, Sheldrick. O'Driscoll is out for 3 to 4 weeks with a quad. And then you get Philippou, who Josh was unsure about, is also out for 3 to 4 weeks. So it's a plantaris. So there's a small muscle that runs up your leg between your calf and your hamstring, and it's just not working properly. It's just aggravating him.
Okay, so he's
Poor
basically
bloke.
done then.
Yeah, so he's unfortunately, he's 22. So look, we will give kudos to St Kilda there. Smart option. He's 22. Don't play him. When we've seen him play over the last couple of years, he's looked fantastic when he's healthy. Just sit him out. It's just an unfortunate year for you guys. You look good at the start, kind of falling off. Save your fucking players for the future. Adam Treloar, obviously the big one this week, out 6 to 8 weeks with a calf.
Yeah.
Look, he's 32 years old. It's unfortunate. Thank God for Bulldogs fans out there, you've got coverage everywhere with Richards and Kennedy.
So many in the midfield and Bulldogs
So you're
right now.
set there, so that's fine. And then the other one is Whitfield with the HIA. He's probably going to be out 2 weeks, maybe 1, but we'll have to wait and see on that. And yeah, that's going to the...
That's injuries. Let's talk MRO and suspensions. The good news is that if you hit an umpire or run into an umpire, you just get fined. If you strike someone, you just get fined or a free kick. And so lots of fines were handed out and none to Zach Butters. So well done to you, Zach.
Wow.
3 weeks in a
Yeah.
row without fines? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Must be a new record for you, Zach.
So what that means is that everyone is free to play unless you're injured. That does mean that there's no MRO or suspensions that will be overriding players playing there. So good news for everyone all around there.
Yeah, wow. All right, well, that basically does it,
It's
right?
going to take us into just the tips.
Just the tips.
So now we get to go head to head and do our tipping. But did we have a garbage round last week or a garbage round? I don't think we did very well at all.
Well,
Yeah.
what did you get?
I got 4, and I led you guys.
Oh, 4 was the king, was it? Yeah, 3
Yeah.
for me. Yeah,
You had
wow.
3.
Yeah, I think I had 3 as well. Yeah, 3. Yeah.
Yeah, so tough
Terrible.
round.
And weren't we like...
We thought it was going to be the easiest round of the year.
I know.
And fuck, were we wrong?
I forgot about that. Oh, no.
All right,
so let's
first
get into
off,
it.
Port Adelaide versus Carlton.
I'm going to go Port here. I think playing down at Adelaide Oval, a mentally fragile Carlton, I'm excited to see what Port can do.
I'm going 33 points, Port, yeah.
26 for me.
Port 50.
Oh, Jesus. Okay.
Okay, all right. And we go into Swans versus the Bulldogs, and this is at the SCG.
I'm going to go Bulldogs.
I'm going to say Swans.
I'm going to go Bulldogs here.
Fuck, that's a game and a half.
Yeah.
I'm going to go the Bulldogs. Yeah, just. All right.
Yeah, be
Suns
close on that one.
And Melbourne.
Yeah, definitely Suns, yeah.
Yeah, Suns.
I think we can.
It's at People First. So.
Oh, it is too. Yeah,
It is
Saturday
too.
game, I think.
But
I
we
believe.
did lose our last game at People First. However, it was raining against Freo, so that's got a
And
grain of
really, you
salt on
won
it.
because we had to listen to Kelly Underwood on TV.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and I
you
was in,
definitely
so
won.
and I wasn't in the rain. I was sheltered at
And
the
you're
bar.
privileged.
Privileged.
Yeah,
Jesus.
you're in the box, right?
Yeah,
Not the box.
you're like
in the lounge.
lounge. Exactly. I
Box
don't.
land, yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. That's such a...
Yeah,
Jesus
it's not a box
Christ.
though. So I mean, anyways, moving on to the next one. So Hawko, take us through this one. What are you thinking?
I mean, look, it's down in Tassie. I'm pretty sure the last few times we've played them down in Tassie, it's been a pretty good game.
And it was pretty cold last time.
Yeah, usually is, unfortunately,
bloody
down there
hell.
in winter, let's be honest. But look, I think the Hawks should be fine down there the way we're playing at the moment. But North Melbourne are on a bit of a streak. So
I'm going
who
to say North. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to go Hawks.
Actually, no. Utah's.
No,
isn't
back
it?
yourself down. Back yourself
go
down.
on then.
Yeah,
Let's see it.
go on.
Fuck it. I'm going to be different. Yeah.
Yeah, there
North.
you go.
Let's go.
All right, well, go on. You want to be different? Be different for the next game.
Yeah.
No, thanks.
So Collingwood taking on West Coast.
At Marvel though, so it's
Marvel.
not at the MCG again.
Yeah.
Oh, so Collingwood are going to bitch and moan about
Again, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
Having to travel.
Oh no, we have to
100
travel
minutes,
across the
what is
couple
it,
of roads,
20 minutes?
streets.
20 minutes up the road, something like
Collingwood
that.
here for me.
Well, you got the DRC anyway, so Collingwood are always going to win.
What's the DRC?
Different rules for Collingwood.
Oh, there you go.
Jesus Christ.
Adelaide taking on Richmond. No, this is going to be the Crows.
Yeah.
And then we go into what? Freo versus St Kilda.
Well, I'd say this should be an easy round again, but who knows?
I think
I'm
didn't
almost gonna
St
say
Kilda
Saints.
beat Freo last
by a
time.
lot.
I'm going to say
If
Saints.
I recall.
I'm trying to go with because last week we all thought it was very easy, right?
I'm going to go
trying
Freo.
I'm still going Freo, yeah.
Well,
I think
I'm
this
going
is
to
a
Saints.
different Freo side than what it was last time.
Well, yeah, I hope so. Remember they started off the season looking like they were going to be, they wanted top 4 and
Yeah.
what are they, 9th, 10th at the moment? 8th?
I'll find out for you.
can check
Oh, I
that
just
out.
had the ladder.
Freo is
7th, 6th, there. I can check right there, can't I? Yeah. Anyway, though, that's just the tips. Any questions, actually? But I was just about to sign
let's
off.
go into questions. So I think we did get some questions over. Our questions get posted, or the post requesting the questions gets put up on Facebook and over on Twitter. So if you're on either of those platforms, keep an eye out for those. But we do have 3 questions sent in. So why don't we start with long-term favourite and fan of the potty?
fan of the podcast.
Yeah, we're going to kick
Hawkers.
off with Hawkers.
Yeah, so Hawkers is since day one he's been a fan, so we like to
Appreciate
give
you,
him
mate. Yeah.
give him the first crack here.
what's he got?
He's got keep Merritt. Still could 2 good matchups after the bye, so that is the
Which
Gold
we've
Coast.
mentioned.
Yes,
We've mentioned
the
before
Gold Coast Richmond,
without even
and,
seeing this question.
and he's got actually a couple of questions here. And so the next one
Cheeky.
is Flanders real, and I can tell you he is not this year.
Well, again, I don't know. He could be real.
I think it's a little bit of a trick. Yeah.
He's down 400k. It could be a jump on.
Look, I think there's a bit of value there, but I'd want to see it one more time.
I've seen
Okay, let's do that.
I've seen his kicking at goal this season, going to most games, and it's been fucking horrendous.
But maybe we don't want him. Get him back to that. Piss
Yeah.
off Noble or Rioli. Move them up the ground a
Probably
bit more.
Rioli, I think,
And put Flanders back to that defensive mid role.
Well, yeah, if that happens, but you got to wait to see that happen, though.
So Hawkers, I'm one more week. I don't know about the rest of the boys,
Yeah,
but
I'm one more week.
that's fair enough. But I've been saying stuff about Flanders for the past couple of weeks. So.
And then he's also got which 230k announced already. Do you like
this week
For the rookies, yeah. Look, if Charlie West can kick 6 goals, then absolutely great option. But I think for me, I really like the, what's his name? Billy Wilson. I think he's a halfback playing for Carlton, I want to say.
Yeah, he's Billy Wilson for Carlton, yeah.
I
Debuting
really-
tomorrow night, yeah.
I really like what the halfbacks off of that team do. I think they get lots of access to points. I have a feeling that, Doherty might spend more time up in the midfield potentially, rotating through, so that might open up more opportunity off the halfback. And if you look at what those halfbackers have been able to do, he could be a very good opportunity to score there. So Billy Wilson would be my pick.
Mine is Charlie Edwards with that DPP defensive mid. Like I said, especially if he gets the other side with Laird, that defensive mid status looks really good in the sand for Charlie Edwards for me.
Charlie Edwards, nice. And Nick, what about yourself?
Was that West Coast bloke?
Joe
Shannon,
yeah. Joe Shanahan there for Croxy. So there you go, three options there. Oh, well,
Shanahan's a forward, isn't he?
Yeah, I said forward.
Yeah, the ball's never going to be down forward.
Oh,
for
yeah,
him.
this week against Collingwood.
And
Oscar Island's out.
They
have to target him.
He
It
can't.
doesn't matter. They're not going to have their hands on it.
Maybe he'll beat Darcy more convincingly.
I'm banking on him getting some more game time, and also the fact that he can't go below 230k.
And also Collingwood might take a nap on the field. And
It's
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, first off, we didn't also answer Merritt. He held Merritt. Still hold Merritt.
Oh yes, sorry.
Yeah, I'm a hold on Merritt.
I'm
you can trade if it means that you get extra players on field. Like, if you don't have 18, absolutely trade. But I definitely think you can hold Merritt, and I think the bounce back games will be good.
I may get rid because just given his role,
Yeah,
I would have gotten rid of him.
Garbage.
I would have gotten rid of him weeks ago. To be
I
honest with
am
you.
on the fence, so that doesn't really help you there, mate. Look, I know you don't want to, but if you don't want him losing money, I get it. But we know what Merritt can do. I'm a Hawthorn. We're both Hawthorn fans. We know what Merritt can do. You definitely know what Merritt can do. If he turns back the clock 6 weeks, goes in the midfield, ignores Scott,
It's the last 4
and does
weeks.
really well, he'll be fine. But if he loses another 150k?
My no is in the fact
you're just holding him. Like, at this point, you're just...
What you're holding him? You're holding him for fucking 57.
Because he could come out and score a 151.
But
Well, yeah.
given the last 4 weeks, he's not going to. If this roll continues, there's no way.
If the roll continues. But do you really think he's going to continue to only get 44% CBS?
At the moment, yes.
Yeah.
You think that's going to stay?
Because you're tanking, right?
Because
You're tanking.
Josh, think about this. For the last 4 weeks, he's been doing this role, and you guys have been playing like shit, and nothing's changed. So why would you expect anything to change?
Because how are we going to tolerate just losing like this?
Well, you're going to fight.
Because that's what you want, isn't it? You want good picks.
We can't sit there and say, "Oh yeah, we're this club and we're fighting for excellence and we're going to try and be better," and then put this shit up.
The edge.
Well, let's hope it changes, because we saw the Whitfield one a few weeks ago. Everyone fucking got pissed off about that. They immediately changed him back. This has been 4 weeks. So let's see. If I had to choose, I would be getting rid of him.
Darcy Parish is probably going to do a fucking calf next week anyway. And then he's out the fucking window. So then we need someone to come back in there, don't we?
Yeah, true.
So there's two for getting rid and one for keeping.
So that's 3. What else we got? We got a few more questions.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Fucking Merritt.
All right.
Talking about this guy.
Josh, you want to go next?
Yeah. So let me take over on Twitter. We've got Synergy9 has thrown out here. Hey, legends.
Hey, Synergy.
Kako, Stone, and McAuliffe out for McCarthy, Liddy, and Dewar. This leaves me enough cash to get my last.
I was going to say that easily leaves him enough, because McAuliffe's 600, Stone's 450, Kako's 450, Dewar's 450, McCarthy 300, Liddy 300. Mate, that gives you cash. And if that's a last primo that you need to bring in, locked in.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Where's the primo though?
Yeah, he didn't tell us who the primo is.
Next week.
I think that would
Next
be
week.
too complete. So yeah, if this is setting you up for next week and you can attack next week
next
really
week.
well,
Yeah.
go for it. I'm all for it. Well done, Synergy there. Thanks for the question as well. Keep them coming.
Another one is a nice, very keen commenter, Matt Dennis over on Facebook there.
He's back.
Matty boy.
Back. So thanks for all your insights there, and Josh has been back and forth with you on a lot of the comments.
Just quietly, this guy is
He jumped up, right?
He's like 63rd overall.
Yeah.
So
63rd overall. Yeah.
Keep chasing that hat, Matt. But what's the question? What is he asked here?
Yeah.
Or what is his proposition?
He said, lucky I held green in the end. That was just something before. Anyways, he said, went Jackson, Brayshaw and Taru in for Lindsay, Gawn and Levi out.
It worked.
This week, that was last week.
Yeah,
and
it worked well.
This week, he's gone Clark, Stone, and Whitfield for McRae, Moore, and Liddy.
Again, great.
And then he's saying, 63 overall for the week, even though he had Whitfield injury and the captain on Bailey Dale.
It's taking the piss.
Mate, so he could have went up to top 10, realistically.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at his trade-ins here. What do we think? So I agree with a Clark. Yep, he can go.
Clark,
Stone
yeah,
and
100%,
Whitfield.
yeah.
Absolutely. You've heard us talk about Whitfield going out the door.
We already discussed how much we do like Dylan Moore and the fact that he could turn it on again at the end of the season. So that's also a good one. But it's like with a grain of salt kind of thing. Like hopefully that
I've seen it
continues.
last year. I'm just going to cash it in early for once. So we'll see.
Yeah.
So that's what else was there? There was
And then
another one.
McRae, which I said to Josh before, are we getting McRae back in? He said yes, and obviously he has. But I think if I had better options or
There's not many better forward options, right?
Yeah,
Who's
there's
up
not.
high?
I would get McRae back in.
Petrarca,
If I could have
feel
this
like
week, I
Dennis
would
would
have.
already have.
Yeah.
Another
And then
900s.
Liddy's a great shout.
Liddy's
too.
a great shout.
Yeah.
There's no one else really that Sam Darcy, but I feel like he already has probably Darcy. So there's no one real high up. I think his next position down there is to go. I'm blanking who. Who was it?
Raston?
Yeah, we could go Rouse.
Yeah.
If he's got another 80K instead of Rouse, who's on the buy? But we'll just leave
Yeah.
it how it is.
Yeah,
I think you've done
That
well
looks
there.
good.
My only
we tick that.
Matt, my only concern for you, just checking, having a little look here. Ownership numbers for Dylan Moore: 4% of the top 1,000,
Yeah.
2% of the top 100. So what you
So
are
he's
going here
he's
is
going
a
for pod.
differentiator.
He's going for a pod.
So is this
It could pay off,
hey,
though.
I'm chasing a car and I'm going to try and get that? If so, roll with it. But if you're looking to maintain your spot, maybe have a look at those forward options that are high ownership in the top 100 that you maybe don't have, and see if you can get one of those options instead.
But he wants the car.
McRae.
No, if it's a pod, you're going for 100% tick. Yeah.
And well done.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Let us know how you go in the next one.
All right. Well, that's all the. Well, mate. Well, 5 questions technically today.
Yeah, lots of questions.
But yeah. All right. Well, that was all. That covered everything.
Other thing I always wanted to mention is the dimmer. Fuck you.
The dimmer bird.
So obviously on 360 they showed that, and then the AFL came out and fined him $2,000. But what brought it about was that insufficient intent call that wasn't insufficient intent from I can't remember who kicked it. Might have been Stringer actually. But then straight away after that, after the ball in, Gold Coast kicked it up the field, and there was definitely no insufficient intent.
While
And then
we're
they gave
finding
it
the
insufficient
coaches,
intent.
While we finding the coaches, the cameraman put it on. Either find the camera. Can you imagine if they fined fans every time we said something and flipped the bird to players? Fucking
Or
people
give them
wouldn't want to go.
Yeah, give them like
Don't be.
No,
That's a
don't
joke.
give them any ideas, mate. They're trying to raise revenue.
Far take that, but hey, I get 1% if they do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's
Yeah.
everything, guys. Thank you all for listening and watching, as per usual. We appreciate it. Good questions. 5 questions for once. We really appreciate that. And we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Finally, buys are done.
Yeah.
Thank Christ.
next week.
If you haven't already
Thank
given
God.
us a follow and a subscribe, please go ahead and do
Yeah.
that.
Head
We've
across on all the
appreciated all the
socials.
listens so far, the engagement that you guys are having with the content. We hope you're enjoying it because we're loving putting it out. So thank you all for listening, watching, and being here, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.
Laters.